As long as humans have existed, there have been ghosts. Ghost stories have been found in every culture throughout history, all across the globe. So it's only natural that we would keep believing in them. In an article published in 2005 by the Associated Press titled "More Britons Believe in Ghosts Than in God," they conducted an informal survey and found of 2,012 people who completed the questionnaire, 68% said they believed in the existence of ghosts and spirits, while 55% said they believed in the existence of a God. I am personally fascinated with ghosts, their history, impact, and followers. I don't deny their presence, just like I don't deny the presence of a higher power. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean you should be afraid of it. After all, knowledge is power. Ghosts have played a big part in humans' existence. To this day, no one can deny their presence and impact they've had. Today, you will learn how ghosts help console loved ones, keep history alive, and stimulate the economy. To begin, let me tell you how ghosts help console loved ones. Ghosts represent the spirit of the deceased. The grieving process is hard for everyone. When someone we love passes away, our emotions are going off the wall. We feel a certain empathetic energy around the objects and pictures of the deceased. Sometimes we can even feel their presence here with us. When we feel them here with us, we can share our final words, thoughts, and feelings with them. Communicating with the dead may come easy to some, but not for others, in which case a medium is called in. And ghosts are part of a psychic existence written in 2010 by Olga Gerlach. She interviews Katerina Ligato, whose title is Psychic Medium. She says that most of her work is helping those who have passed cross over and translate messages to and from the spirit world. She also provides us with an example from her work. Quote, "Just this morning, a woman visited me who was extremely upset about losing her mother in a hospital overnight. I contacted her mom's spirit, and she replied saying how much she already misses their shopping trips together and that she's watching over her grandson and wants him to stop drinking so much. This woman left feeling uplifted and relieved that her mother had crossed over and is still watching over the family. The woman now has a sense of relief knowing that her mother's spirit is in peace and knowing that she has someone looking after her. During the process of mourning, we become overly attached to a person's belongings and mementos that represent them. We also often feel guilt for not spending enough time with them and letting them know how we feel. By using a medium to communicate with the dead, you will finally be able to communicate what you need to get off your chest. You will receive that much needed closure you need to move on and enjoy your life. Now that we've heard how ghosts console the living, we're going to learn how they keep history alive. In James Careless's book, Haunted History, published in 2015, he goes into the history of hauntings, more specifically in Canada. He starts with, in the 1920s, interest in spiritualism, communicating with the dead, reached a peak, with seances held in the drawing rooms of respectable citizens on both sides of the Atlantic. He also included several haunted stories. Quote, "The Toronto home where William Leon Mackenzie, leader of the 1837 Upper Canada Rebellion, lived and died, has had its fair share of strange happenings. The home is reputably haunted by a bald man with a frock coat and mutton chops. A long-haired woman has also been seen, and creepily enough, the 1845-era printing press in the basement has been said to start up all by itself. Plus, phantom footsteps have been heard on the staircases. The stories go back to the days when the Mackenzie House Museum had live-in caretakers. One couple said they heard the parlor piano start on its own. Another caretaker couple, Mr. and Mrs. Edmonds, reported seeing Mackenzie in his bedroom and walking down the path to the road. The current caretaker says the Mackenzie House is pretty quiet on the spectral front, but since the ghost stories bring people into the museum, we're happy to talk about it. On the other side of the world, Hampton Court Palace, home of the famed King Henry VIII, is said to be haunted for the last 4 centuries. In a blog written by Ashley Hall, published in 2013, she goes into detail of the most famous ghosts caught on camera. For three consecutive days in late December, a specific fire door was discovered to be open. Upon reviewing the security footage, they saw a person in Elizabethan-era clothing opening the fire door. You can see it here with in that long coat that he has, and it's supposed to be Henry VIII himself. No other security camera caught someone in that costume that day, and definitely not near that door. The staff said that they now have a greater respect for the palace and its past inhabitants. Finally, we're going to learn how ghosts stimulate the economy. Many people see ghosts as an opportunity to rake in the cash. According to a news report by Dana Clark, aired in 2006, titled Paranormal Paranoia, she stated, in Savannah, Georgia, a notoriously haunted city, locals leading ghost tours, haunted walks, and hearse rides, bringing about $3 million to the local economy. And those numbers were taken during the fall season. So year-round it is expected to bring in much more. Secondly, in an article by Tim Lin, published in the Washington Times in 2001, he focused on retail sales during the fall season, more specifically Michael's craft stores. He found that Americans are expected to spend an average of 41% more on Halloween products, including items to make them and communicate with them, than the last year. People are always going to be fascinated with the afterlife. It is business savvy to get into because you will make customers for this life and the next. Now I am going to review the topics that I talked about today. First, ghosts help console loved ones. Second, they keep centuries worth of history alive. And lastly, they stimulate the economy, particularly in ghost towns. It is because of these reasons that to this day no one can deny their presence and impact that they've had.